When you see Nick Saban come to games, I'm going to say this. You see him walk on the field. He got 3-4 state troopers, and he's walking and he's freaking checking out the field and getting them. Bro, it's almost like it's so. I came to the game. What was it? I think you guys played in the first game of the season, the Chick-fil-A bowl game, whatever it was, at the beginning of the year, about 5 years ago, maybe 7, 8 years ago. And I remember going to the game because I was working at 92.9 The Game radio station here in Atlanta. Me and Carl Dukes. And I remember we were on the sideline. We had a chance to go to the game. Dude, the experience of watching how the fans moved. It was like going to church service. It's like the people were so under control. Everybody had their houndstooth, their houndstooth, that with the hat and the pants and the shorts and the blouses by the ladies and the skirts. And it was just like, it was so proper. It was so clean. It was so well orchestrated to the point where I'm like, dude, this shit, how can, bro, like, come on, man.
But the thing about it, Coach Saban,
beautiful.
Coach Saban was that kind of coach, that personality. He commanded that. That's what he demanded. So now we have this new coach, Kalen DeBoer. I think for what you said earlier is what he needs to lean on more than anything. Because having those former players and those other guys to come back, those celebrities, recruits love seeing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That helps you with recruiting. Now, Coach Saban didn't have to do that so much because he's Nick Saban. Yeah. But Kalen DeBoer, he's going to need to lean on some of that. Because, again, you don't see that on Alabama sidelines now. And even like when I played, we were lucky to have Leonard Skinner and the damn Golden Flake mascot on the sideline. But you need that for this generation of kid if you don't have the level of star power at coach. And even as Coach Prime is a star himself, he still has that. That appeals to recruits. That's what they want to see. They don't want to see a dead, boring sideline. And Coach Saban did that at Alabama, but since he's left, you look at the sidelines now, it is a complete change.
Well, but here's the thing. And respectfully to y'all new coach, he wants to have his own.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to try to do the best he can to prove that he knows how to win. So he deserves, because it's hard to follow Nick Saban and anyone that's considered a god. Man's got a thing on statue out front. He got freaking Mercedes-Benz. Bro, he's everything. He's everywhere in the city. So so to your new coach, what's his name again?
Kalen DeBoer.
Coach DeBoer. Respectfully to him, he's won where he's come from. He's been a winner. He's won. I think he just wants to have an opportunity to do it his way, not to ignore anyone, but to allow his disposition to blend in the best way he can. And once he gets comfortable, I'm sure the door is going to open, because I know how it feels to have a new coach in town and he wants to have it. Prime is who he is. Let's be transparent. And he don't really need us. Okay? And so at the end of the day, to have us around is a good thing, but it's not like he needs to come chase us to do anything for the institution when he knows how to galvanize it. Unfortunately for Coach DeBoer, it's tough, because when you won consecutively with whoever you had in that quarterback, black, white, or different, short, tall, wide, or fast, slow, whatever, pick one, you always had a great defense. You always had a number one receiver that was always going to go to the league. You always had the showtime. It wasn't done on purpose in the sense of that's what we're trying to do, but that's just what it was, because he knew how to recruit. So Nick Saban created his own monster, right? And he did it through winning, and I think that's what Coach DeBoer wants to try to do, is create his monster. But his mountain to climb is so steep and so big. Bro, it's come on, man. And now y'all have to have a little grace on him to give him a shot.
But that's why I say, too, he needs to lean on those former players, because those are going to be the guys that are going to help him get to those recruits.
Good kids,
because you know why? And I always tell people this. Athletes breed athletes. That 5'5" dude who delivering your milk, he ain't finna go out there and create no 5-star.
Right.
So these kids, they have family members.
5'5" delivering milk.
Listen,
that's what he said.
I'm just saying.
You heard what he said. You heard it.
But I'm just saying. So the guys that you want to recruit more than likely had a family member who probably played at Alabama, or they're very close to somebody who played at Alabama.
But I think y'all gonna still be okay though, because those kids know it's nothing better than that place. And I know what you mean. That head coach is the one that spearheads it. And the money is real. Don't get it twisted. It's real. And I think that's probably why Nick is not there no more, because he can't. It's tough to be able to grind a kid, get on him, as the kids say, pause, about how to work, but yet They got this money to be able to get that money, and it's real.
And they jumping from team to team.
Oh,
look, Indiana.
Our tackle left to go to LSU.
Okay, so the thing that Coach Saban had, he had a plethora of 5 stars. I mean, you look, we were 2-3 deep at every position with 5 stars. Now with NIL, these kids are going other places to get that money, so you don't have that level of depth, and it makes it harder to compete.
So is that DeBoer's fault?
No, it's no one's fault.
You're saying just make sure you bring those kids that are the guys in the former players that are relevant in the program to be there to help entice other kids to come in, basically what you're saying,
because
right?
you don't know who knows who and who's related to. Prime example, my cousin, Zay Hall. He was just signed to Alabama. In this class that just went in. You don't know who's related to who. Athletes come from other athletes.
Yeah.
So can I ask you this question?
Yeah.
Y'all don't kill me. Y'all don't kill me.
Take your time.
Did Nick Saban leave or did Nick Saban quit when it got hard? When the game changed.
No.
When the game changed. It changed. The NIL changed.
Not everyone knows when to walk away. Knows when to hold them, when to fold them, when to walk away, know when to run. I think because of how he was, he knew he couldn't fit in this era of how it works. Prime, it must be the money.
Yeah.
Well, he fits into that area. So it's like you take a guy who's a hard-nosed guy that we all know in this climate of football, it's a little bit softer than how it was when we played. Yeah. Even though the kids are tough and they play hard, the rules that they have in the game today allow kids to not have to go through as much as we went through back in the day where when guys run across the middle, you remember Hines Ward? You remember that name?
Jesus.
When he used to go get the Ed Reeds and the Rod Woodsons in Baltimore and knock them out, when they're not looking, all of a sudden now you do that hit now, there's a chance you might get fined or kicked out the game.
Yeah. I mean,
college football, same.
Yeah,
same
I wouldn't
way.
finish many games.
Listen,
you feel what I'm saying?
That show is that you got jacked up. Remember that?
That part.
Listen.
Yeah. And it's real. So Nick Saban said to allow the game to transition without him, because then guess what would have happened? He would have started falling behind. Because he would have had to compete with that NIL. And trust me, he ain't about to bend for that.
Well, here's the bigger question, though. Did he leave the game for not wanting to deal with NIL and what it did to the game? Or was it, I want to leave my legacy intact as a 7-time national championship coach?
No, you can never change that.
But hold on. But if he continued to coach and he's having all these 4-loss seasons like Alabama's has and it's bad.
Why would you put yourself?
But hold on, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Who does this remind you of if he had done that? That's what I'm going. Joe Paterno. When everybody said Joe should have walked away a lot sooner than he did, and he didn't, and people gave him grief on the back end of his career.
Talking about Paterno and
Penn State. Mm-hmm.